안녕하세요. 크로스 베이스볼 조현진 팀장입니다. 저는 지금 이제 오늘 경기가 펼쳐지고 있는 웨스트 힐즈 하이스쿨에 나와 있는데요. 지금 제 옆에는 이제 퍼시픽 쇼어 리그의 오너 마이클 킹, 그리고 우측에는 그 퍼시픽 쇼어 리그의 매니저 라이언 하트가 나와 있습니다. Say hi to the people watching on YouTube. Hi.
Afternoon all. Yep.
지금 여기는 이제 오후고요. 경기가 7회 초에 지금 7회 말이 진행되고 있는 상황입니다. 그래서 이제 이 두 분을 저희가 모신 이유는 아시다시피 크로스 베이스볼 리더 13명이 지금 현재 샌디에고에서 퍼시픽 쇼어 리그에 참가하고 있습니다. 이 두 분이 많은 도움을 주셨기 때문에 저희 리더들이 참석할 수 있었는데요. 이제 크로스 베이스볼은 퍼시픽 쇼어 리그와 MOU를 맺고 올해 퍼시픽 쇼어 리그에 선수를 13명을 보냈습니다. 그래서 이분들께서 이제 하고 싶은 얘기가 있으시고 또 궁금하신 점이 있을 것 같아서 제가 사전에 이제 좀 이렇게 인터뷰 협조를 해서 진행할 수 있게 되었는데요. 먼저, is there anything you would like to say to the Korean fans and people who are watching this YouTube and the Korean players?
Well, first of all, we'd like to welcome all of our Korean players and our international players here. We greatly appreciate it. We think it's a great opportunity and a relationship that we have with Cross Baseball and what we can do to work together to help, you know, all players and Korean players and our international players when they're here.
And I know we're really excited to see what they can do on the field against American college players. I know the American players are excited to play against the Korean players and see how they compare too. So it should be a really fun year.
So, how do you feel about having Korean players over? Because in the past you had Japanese players, but it's the Korean players the first time. And how did you feel when you heard that Korean players will be coming over to San Diego and Pacific Shore League?
Well, we've been excited about it. Over the years, we've done everything we can to bring in Korean players, Japanese players, international players for a reason. Because one, they're very good ball players, and we like to have that international flair that they present to us. And Korean players have always been good ball players, and each year that we have had them in the past, they've been exceptionally well and played well here.
I know there's a lot that they want to learn from American-style baseball from our coaches and players, but I think that they're going to end up teaching us a lot too about how they play. There's things that Korean players and Japanese players do a lot differently than American players, and I'm looking forward to our guys learning as much from them as they learn from us.
So, what do you think is the most important part of the Pacific Shore League for the players?
I think Pacific Shore League gives all players and our Korean players an opportunity to play a variety of teams, a lot of games, playing 30 to 35 games in a very short season. I also think it gives them the opportunity to play with American players and learning the Korean style of baseball, American style baseball, and it gives them, I think, a great opportunity to improve their skills and understand both sides of the game.
And especially if they want to come here for college, Japanese players and Korean players want to be seen by college scouts or sometimes professional scouts, depending on their level. But it's a good way for them to get seen and to get into college here. It's tough for international players in Korea to get noticed by college coaches here, but this is the main reason that we have the league is we want to get guys exposed to college scouts as much as possible.
Yeah, one of the things I'll elaborate on that, we're fortunate because as long as we've been around, we get a lot of college coaches from all over the country looking for players, and we get asked a lot about Korean players. If there's any available, are they here in the U.S.? Can we bring them over? We'd like to see them during our time period. The other thing that we are able to help them with is not only get into college, but help them with scholarships as well.
Which position do you expect most from Korea?
Well, like any baseball operation, we like pitchers because we can never get enough pitching because of the amount of games that we play. But in all honesty, we invite all Korean players to come over, regardless if you're an outfielder, an infielder, a catcher, or a pitcher, because we have the ability to provide you a great opportunity to play baseball.
So, is there like an age limit or anything for the players?
Our age limit goes from 17 and a half, what we call a graduated senior high school, to 26 years old. So we allow a wider spectrum of age of players so that we can help those, not only get into college, but also help those that want to go to play professional baseball, both internationally and here in the U.S., both indie ball and MLB.
Last question. I mean, next year, Cross Baseball is going to have our own team in the Pacific Shore League. And when that goes on, how do you think it's going to change the league and the baseball of Korea and the baseball relationship between Korea and the United States?
Well, I think it's going to be a huge success to have a Korean team over here to play with us. I think it'll add a lot of credibility. I think it'll add a new twist to baseball, and I think the Korean team will have a great time here. And not only that, it's something that the Pacific Shore League wants to do, is to expand into international markets. Korea as a good example, because I think it's a great opportunity for friendship games, for allowing Americans maybe someday to go over and play in Korea, and Koreans come over here and play here in the U.S.
Yeah, I think it'll just add a lot more excitement to the league in general when other players that want to join the league hear that we have a Korean team, whether they're Korean American or they're Americans or anywhere else in the world. Scouts are going to take notice. It's going to be a league that stands apart from other leagues. No other leagues in the summer league in the U.S. do stuff like what we do with international players, and adding international teams is going to give us a very unique flavor of baseball during the summer.
And we invite, and we are very sincere about this, we invite Korean baseball players to come over here. It'll be like home to you. We're very good at making our family your family, and making sure that you succeed here, that you enjoy playing baseball here. You become part of the Pacific Shore League family, and I think it's important that all players realize that. We care about you, and we want you here to play.
Like, just because you mentioned the family, the Pacific Shore family, so cross baseball, we call ourselves cross family, and we think family is very important in our
Very important.
Yeah, so it's great to be one family with Pacific Shore League and cross baseball, and I'm glad that we can work together in the future for the future of the players and to help them get
Absolutely.
recruited into colleges and have a new dream and a new life in the United States. And I thank you for your time today for the interview. And is there anything you would like to say to the Korean players and for the cross family?
Go ahead, Ryan.
I just know we're really happy to have cross baseball in this partnership. Felix and everyone that manages the cross baseball in Korea has been really friendly and cooperative with us, and we're looking forward to a very long partnership with them.
One thing I'd like to add to this, if you're considering playing for cross baseball, I would recommend it, because they've been a very, very good partner with us. They've done everything they can to make sure that you players are ready to go. They've communicated well with us. The players they've sent us are good players. So we enjoy that partnership that we have with cross baseball, and I would recommend that you get in touch with them and talk with them and get an opportunity to come over here and play.
Thank you for
Go Pacific Shore League.
Let's cross
Cross
baseball
baseball.
together.
Together, continue.
Thank you.